What's going on, y'all? Johnny J back at it again with another video. To be more specific, another Vinland Saga video. So initially I was going to chop this video up kind of like I did Berserk. I was going to do a couple episodes, multiple episodes, and chop it up, put it together, and just put it out there. But I was like, you know what, let me do another full-length episode, and then I'll go into chopping up the videos and putting them together and getting it out that way. So this right here is Vinland Saga episode 2 English sub. You know, we gotta keep it with the subs. I did the dubs for the Berserk, but you know, the subs, you always get the emotion, you always get the feeling that the original actors have versus the dubs. Sometimes I do it in the dubs, sometimes it doesn't come out right. So I was just like, man, we're gonna stick with the sub. But anyways, Vinland Saga, pretty good. Takes place in like year 1002. Vikings. First episode, we got introduced to Thor and his family and how he was a warrior, but then he kind of left that lifestyle and now he's just settling down, and came across a slave, and Thor ended up paying for the slave all of his sheep. I think it was like 8 of them. Paid all his sheep just to keep that slave, but the slave ended up dying. So it was like, it took a big loss, and the daughter was very upset. So we gonna see how this episode goes. Episode 2, Vinland Saga. Let's get it.
その日は土曜日で、バイキングたちは土曜日に風呂に入る。
They only bathe on Saturdays.
彼らのそ
Not
の
every
習
day,
慣
or
を
at least every
イ
other
ン
day.
グランド人は知っていた。
Well, you know what? I know back then a lot of the times they didn't bathe at all. So that's better than nothing. That's crazy seeing how much of being a warrior is embedded in the culture, to like a point where all the little kids are acting like they're warriors.
もうなんでいつもすぐにやられちゃうんだろう。死体は喋っちゃダメだ、トロフィー。お前いつも真っ先に死ぬのな、ファクシー。天国にあるバルハラでは毎日お肉が食べられるからね。強い戦士じゃないとバルハラには入れないんだぞ。
Valhalla. See, I've heard of Valhalla. It's like the warrior paradise when they die. It's like their heaven. Yeah, I really like how they're just throwing in those pieces of that culture into the series.
雪の上で死ぬと風邪をひくぞ。
明日出発。いいな、いいな。今度どこ行くの？
俺さ、遊びじゃないぞ。商売に行くんだ。料理物や毛皮を持ってってワインなんかと交換するんだ。
じゃあ僕も行く。
やめ、じゃあってなんだ。さらっと言うな。
ケチ、流氷にぶつかっても知らないからね。
年末までにワインが欲しいんだよ。本国のみんなとイエス・キリストの誕生日をワインで祝うんだ。
僕の父上はビールが好きだよ。分けてもらえば。
ワインを飲むことに意味があるんだ。あるいはこの村にワインがあるかと思ったんだ。トルフィン、一足りお前の父上に伝言を頼む。 軍船が来た。
よっよっ。こんなもんでどうかな、親方。今度は下がったろう。
水入れてみな。
難しいもんだな。力を入れすぎなんだよ、トールズさん。ここだ、トロフィー。
父上、また軍船が来たよ。すげえでかいやつ。
トロルのトールズを出せって言ったきり、あのままだ。トールズってトールズさんだよな。トロル？しかしありゃ半端な連中じゃねえな。ハーフ団たちみてえなゴロつきとは違うぜ。
お、トールズさん。奴らこの村を攻める気じゃ。
ヨウムの戦士たちよ、私はここだ。トールズさんに礼を。まさかここまで探しに来るとはな。不老機。
I guess his past is about to be revealed.
ノルウェー遠征以来になりますが、トールズ殿。よもやこのような最果ての地にお隠れと。
I wonder how they found him though.
要件を言
It's probably the last warship they saw him, and they just got word out.
何者なんだろうな、トールズさんって。若い頃に戦働きをしてたとは聞いたけど。
声がでけえよ、あれ。あんまり自分のことを話さない人だからな。
俺にも見せろよ。ヨウムの戦士たちって言ってたよな。お前知ってるか？さあ。
なんか父上怒ってる。
入浴の最中を狙っての奇襲だったということです。エーンロー各地で多くのデンマーク人がイングランド軍に殺害されました。そしてその中にはデンマーク国王スベンの妹君グンヒルド様もいたとのこと。妹の敵討ち。スベン王は良い口実を得ました。大きな戦が始まります。我ら戦士の出番です。
戦？
ヨウム戦士団はデンマーク軍と連合します。来たる春にはイングランドへの侵攻が始まりましょう。好きにするがいい。ここは北の最果ての小村だ。北海の向こうで大国同士が何をしようと関わりはない。そうは参りません。我が首領シグバルディの命令は全艦隊ヨムスボルグに集結せよ。例外はない。お分かりかな。そのものがたとえ脱走兵と言えともね。
脱走？
ヨウム戦士団大隊長トロルのトールズ。この度の戦、あなたも参戦するのです。トールズ殿、この度のことは我が首領の恩情なのですよ。15年前行方不明になったあなたがこの度晴れて戦線に復帰する。
Damn, 15
years
years
ago?
ago?
にしてそういうことにしてくださるというのです。我が首領はそれほどにあなたの腕を惜しまれているよ。それを伝えるために軍船で来ることはあるまい。村の者が動揺している。お代わりになられましたな、あのトールズ殿が。あるいはこの村が変えたのか。
だ、逃げろ。
良い村だ。子供の様子でわかる。戦災とは今日まで無縁だったのでしょう
聞いたか、戦だぞ。すっげえ。俺初めてだよ。わざわざ海越えてトールズさんを誘いに来たんだぜ、あいつら。すげえよ、お前の親父さんは。
でもよ、俺ら連れてってもらえるかな。おめえは無理だな。弱えもん。んだよそれ。
やっぱ強くねえとダメか。まあその点俺は大丈夫だな。お前ら人を切ったことねえだろ。そういう経験があるかないかで。悪い。
Them dudes is big. I look little.
私もね、子供の使いじゃないんですよ。あなたがこたびの戦に加わらぬとおっしゃるの。私は使命を果たせぬし、我が狩猟の面目も潰れる。そうなれば、とても手ぶらでは帰れません。お分かりでしょう。
Now he gonna have to threaten him somehow.
ヨウム戦士だ。ベンドランドの港町ヨムスボルク。
Maybe he might just go with him. I don't know.
トールズが昔ヨウムの戦士だったと。
強いんすか？
強い。あまりに強くてベンドランド王などは彼らから税金を取れないでいるほどさ。北海最強を自負する軍団だ。戦隊村に戻れ。撤収。
And they all tower over everybody in that village. So you can tell them is big dudes.
感じ悪いな。
助かったな、あれ。聞かれよ村の衆。私はヨウム戦士団の不老騎だ。主命により勇者ウォールズスノーレソンに発生を頼むためこの地へ参った。
勇者。
トールズ殿は我が狩猟の求めに応じられ軍船一隻の提供を約束なされた。我と思わん者はトールズ殿と共にヨムスボルグへ参られよ。
Wow.
いやトールズ殿、いずれ戦場でありましょう。
Guess he agreed to it. They think it's going to be easy. They are going to get destroyed when they go on that battlefield. Yeah, he knows what war brings. He knows exactly what's going to happen. A lot of the men are going to be dead. It's not going to be as easy as they think.
昔、人を殺すことで身を立てていた。でもある日急に嫌になったんだ。殺すのも殺されるのも。だから逃げたんだ、戦場から。死んだようにうまく見せかけたつもりだったんだから。
だったらもう一度。
逃げればこの村が俺の代わりに報復される。ヨウムの掟は脱走者を許さない。自分のしてきたことにけじめをつける時が来た。
Lucky he's still in shape. If he got all fat and tired and sick, I'm pretty sure they would have been like, yeah, it's not the same Thor from before. So, I mean,
あれ、レイフさん、今日出港じゃなかったっけ？
トールズに頼まれたんだ。その軍船と船団を組むことにしたよ。
そうか、確かにその方が安全だ。いざって時は俺らが守ってやるからよ。
そりゃ頼もしい。しかしな、どいつも戦好きなことよ。
ったトルフィン。いって
ー。なんだよ、死ねよトルフィン。今やられただろ。ルール守れよな。
なんだこいつ、大丈夫か。待てよトルフィン。
I don't think that game would fly these days. Parents would be so upset. You just hit my kid in the head with a stick. I'm suing.
よし、もう一度行くぞ。トールズ、ちょっと見てやってくれないか。
折れてるな。子供の遊びにしちゃやりすぎだ。一月の間、添え木をしておいてくれ。
Yeah, but these days, that's not even a game you should even think
ト
of
ルフィン
playing.
がやったんだよ。あいつ最近ムカつくんだ。加減しねえし。もう
He's
絶
too
対
rough.
仲間に入れてやんね
本当か。うちの子が。それはすまなかった。よく言って聞かせる。
気にすんなよ。子供同士のことだ。でもまだ6つだろ。6つ
6.
5つ上の子たちに怪我させると大したもんだよ。いい戦士になるぜ、あの子は。やっぱりあんたの血だよ、トールズ。
See, they always have one of the characters, because I know Thorfinn's eventually going to become one of the main characters, but they always have them super young. So for him to be 6,
これ一式くらんの
he's probably going to be like
じいさまの代からの家宝
maybe like 10,
存分に戦ってこい。
9, 10 when he gets to that point of, you know, what happens in the story based on the video I had reacted to.
としたつ名品だぜ。
おー、でけえな。獲物ったら槍だよ。
おお、なんなら勝負するか。
もうあんたって子は何でもかんでも放りっぱなしにすんのよなって。こら聞いてんの。片付けないと捨てちゃうよ。いいの。
え。いい。もういらない。
I think he wants a legit sword now.
なんなのよ、物置ひっくり返して。うちの武器はどこ。あ、武器。僕には武器が必要なんだ。武器があれば。あんたさては戦士になって父上の船に乗せてもらっちゃおうとか考えてる。言っとくけどね、無駄な努力よ。あんたみたいなちびっ子が。あるに
They really did not have locks back then. People just be barging into people's houses. Now they just opening up chests. When were locks invented? That's what I need to know.
何？どうしたのゆるば。
剣が欲しいか、トルフィン。剣は人を殺す道具だ。お前はこれで誰を殺すつもりなんだ。
I guess him touching the sword in that way and showing him bleed, showing himself bleed, is just a way to show him that it's a legit weapon used for like killing and causing pain versus a toy.
よく聞け、トルフィン。お前に敵などいない。誰にも敵などいないんだ。傷つけて良いものなどどこにもいない。
おかしいよ、そんなの。だって父上は明日戦に行くんでしょ。敵を殺しに行くんでしょ。子供じゃない。父上は嘘を言ってる。僕にだってわかる。
お、ドルフィンスキー危ねえって。
ヘルか。あの子頼む。
西北西から微風、波穏やか。今朝はオーディン神の機嫌がいい。
オーディ
出港にはいい朝だな。
ああ、
よーし、いったな。左手で投げて命中なら、その酒樽は俺のもんだぞ。うるせえ。当たってから言えよ。行くぞ、キリスト坊主。避けたら殺すぞ。あ、てめえ、避けたよ。今避けたよ。殺す、マジ
どうせ
殺す。
次は俺だ。
神父様。
おい、ヨウムの兄さん方、あんたらも一杯やらねえか。
Nah, man. They look
お
serious.
行儀が良くていらっしゃる。
ほっとけ。安酒はお口に合わねえんだとよ。
おや、
相変わらず貴様の手下は品がないな。アシュロッ
キリスト教が好かねえだけですよ。黒木旦那。それよりさっさと仕事の話をしましょうよ。手下どもも俺もこんな僻地で待たされて退屈してたんです。
ド。大きな変更はない。報酬は金5ポンド。奴の死体と引き換えでなければ払わんぞ。奴の船と積み荷はお前たちに好きにしていい。ポーズを殺せ。
Well, y'all, that right there is the end of episode 2, Vinland Saga. Really, really good, really interesting. I like how they're throwing so many different elements into it. So, one of the first elements I saw was like, I really didn't speak too much about it, but it was when Leif Erikson said something about like Jesus Christ, and then later on you see the whole God religious aspect being thrown back into it at the end, where you see the Christian monk, the Christian priest getting I guess you could say tortured. I mean, they were playing with his life, right? So that's an interesting element, and also the mention of Odin and earlier on Valhalla was also interesting too. So you see that element of the Vikings' beliefs versus everyone else's beliefs, everyone else meaning everyone outside of the Vikings, and I guess it's Christianity and maybe other religions that are there, but it's kind of interesting to see how at one point Christianity was kind of looked down upon, because I know at a certain point it kind of flips to a point where if you weren't worshiping God, if you were not a part of the Christian religion or Catholicism, then that would give people the right to kill you. So it's interesting to see how Christianity is kind of more of like the inferior religion as opposed to the other religion that worships Odin, talks about Valhalla being the place of warriors where they die, where they go to. But outside of that, another element I liked about this too is seeing how much fighting is embedded in the culture, even to the group that where Thor lives at now. Those people, they've never been involved in a war or on the battlefield, and they are, when they got the opportunity, are so eager to go out and fight. And then also you see that with the kids, like in a part in the video, I was like, nowadays, that there's no parent that would allow for their kids to be playing that rough, you know, playing with wooden swords, hitting each other. And even when Thorfinn had hit the other kid so hard that, you know, he broke his arm, from what I remember, it was still kind of like, boys will be boys type of situation. It wasn't like, oh my god, your kid broke my kid's arm with a wooden sword. So I thought that was also interesting too, and it shows, you know, like I said, how much fighting is embedded in the culture, and it shows how different the times are. This is 1002. You know, this is the 11th century. So that's an interesting thing. And then what's also dope too was that you see more about Thorfinn and his character, and once those other groups of Vikings came in, where the group that Thor was a part of, when they came to the village, and once they gave the opportunity for the people of the village to go out and fight, you see Thor's reaction was like, oh crap, I know what's going to happen. You know, he has the mindset of, everyone is so excited to be a part of this battlefield, to be a part of the war, but they don't understand that it's not as good as they think it is. It's a lot of death. It changes your personality. It was to a point where, you know, even when Thor was talking about his past and him just escaping because it was too much for him. So I think that shows a lot of depth with the character. And you know, he's, even though we didn't see him go from him being a young man and, you know, being this amazing fighter to, you know, where he is now, you didn't see like a evolution of that. You kind of still get an idea of that growth, you know, from based on the small little flashbacks, and just based on how he reacts to certain things, how he reacted to the opportunity to fight again in the war. And, you know, I can tell that he didn't want to fight, but he knew that if he said no, what that would cause. It would bring the war to the village in some way, shape, or form. So I think that was very interesting. And then also Thorfinn, I had just reacted to a video pretty much going over the Vinland Saga, the timeline and what's going to happen in the story. So I kind of have an idea of what's going to happen with Thorfinn, and how he is eventually, I guess you could say, he's going to be the main character. He's going to take the place of his father, maybe from a young perspective. That's probably where we are going to get this idea of a young Thor in Thorfinn as the representation of that. But it's interesting to see him and how he's being affected by it. Once he found out more about his father, and then once he found out about his past, he wants to hop in the war. He's kind of like, all right, I'm done with this childish stuff. I'm done with playing with these wooden swords, and I really want to play. I really want to fight. And he has the same mindset as the other villagers, where they see it as not as serious as what it really is. And Thor, when he grabbed the sword from Thorfinn and you see the blood, I think that was to show that, look, this is serious. You know, all you did with your little wooden sword was just break somebody's arm. That can heal. But with this right here, all I did was squeeze it and I'm already bleeding. I already hurt myself. So imagine if you use that force with that sword on somebody, they're dead. And I think it's going to take a while for Thorfinn to learn that, and even the other villagers that get involved to learn that. So I'm very interested to see the evolution of the different characters that they show that are being affected by this war, and especially with Thorfinn, because to some extent I know his fate based on that video I had seen. But anyways, these are my thoughts. Tell me you guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Also, I had a lot of questions throughout the video. If you guys can answer those questions and throw those down below as well, I appreciate that. Like I said, in the upcoming videos, I'm gonna start chopping them up. But if there's any specific video, specific episodes that you guys want me to full on react to, like I did with episode 1 and even this episode, definitely comment those down below. I'm going to take advantage of that while I can, because a lot of the times when it comes to these videos, I always end up getting copywritten and taken down. So as of now, I'm in the clear, but you never know. So if you guys do want me to react to those full on videos, just throw those down below and I'll check those out. This is getting pretty interesting. It's kind of a slow start, but I feel like I'm still being entertained from the little pieces of history that you're getting within this, and how it is actually so close to, you know, what is in the actual history as far as how the Vikings actually moved, their religion, their whole mindset when it came to war and fighting. So that's actually keeping my that's actually keeping my interest, and it's very entertaining. Anyways, this is Johnny J. I'm out.